Welcome back to Your List Sucks, the most anticipated episode of all time. Not really. Who cares? Boatman's here. Brooklyn's here. We have Chance. So we'll probably get some Schmodown people that want to, like, DM them later to see if they can get to the Schmodown. And we have Barr. Barr's the elitist in the room, so we had to include him. This is Disney soundtracks. We did live action. We did animated. We didn't do Pixar. So just to put the thing out there. So basically, everybody creates a top 10 list. They show up on the show. I get to tell them they suck, and that's basically how the show works. No one's feelings get hurt, and if they do, they cry off camera, not on camera. Brooklyn, you're here. You have a terrible list most of the time. You're terrible when it comes to Disney movies. Do you think you're going to be in the bottom of the barrel tonight?
It's almost a given. Kind of like the sky is blue, and Cody just loves baseball over hockey. Sort of givens.
Fair, very fair. Next we got Chance. Chance, I got to hit my Schmodown quota every 3 months, so I'm glad you're here.
Every 3 months.
So I appreciate you being here. Do you think your list will suck? You're very known for your animated love. Disney ranks pretty high in your book. You were in the exhibition match. So do you feel like you have the correct list, or will your list fall to the bottom of the barrel?
I'm not sure. I'm happy I haven't finally a list that sucks enough for you to actually put me on a show, because I tried a few weeks and I got turned down. Either way, it doesn't matter. But hey, no matter what happens, I can at least sleep easy knowing I will not have the worst list on this show. That's going to go to Brooklyn.
That's very true. I just take it when I don't include you. It's your old veto rule from your rebranded show on a cornholes player channel.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it.
Nah.
It's into the past.
Next, we're going to go to the boat fella. As I refer to him, we're starting late because of the boat man. You are super young, and you act super young all the time, but you're actually an 85-year-old man. So my question is, do you feel like you have enough 1947 Disney movies on there to make your list not suck?
I think with Disney, my choices tend to skew a little bit more to the modern side. Oh, can anyone else hear me? Or is it
no,
just
I can hear you fine. James, try to drop and come back.
Me? Okay.
Yeah, but I think with Disney, I tend to skew a little bit more modern. So I think this is actually going to be interesting. But I'm just here for this one. So yeah. Oh wow. Oh, I don't even know who you are. Say that to my face, bitch.
That is. I think that is the new Tony.
That's Tony Heald. What do you even do for Warzone? Get out of here. You wrote what carrot card does Jesse Eisenberg use? And
next time I checked, last time I checked, Boatman does not run my show, so you can shut your mouth. Thank you, Barr. You are actually probably the most elitist person on this list. I had to actually trim off enough and cut a lot of your list down. So, do you feel like your list is going to suck, or do you feel like I didn't let the pure arts speak to the masses tonight?
The pure arts will speak because I'm here. My list will suck in your eyes, not in the people's eyes, and it won't suck as much as Brooklyn's.
That is true. That's a guarantee.
Well, go to some place. Oh, he did not see that pop up. That's hilarious. Yeah. So basically, how the show works. Everybody comes here. Does a top 10 list. We combine the list at the end. I rate them. I don't have any opinion on this matter besides my opinion of their list. So yeah, we're gonna kick it off with Brooklyn. Let's jump right into the fire with no safety net. Give us your 10, 9, 8.
All right, number 10 will probably be no surprise. Chicken Little.
Of course.
Really?
Number 9 is Princess and the Frog.
Yikes.
And 8 is Tangled.
You bitch. You assholes. What?
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Start with your 10. This is
Okay.
how the show works.
Okay, I was waiting for my cue, sir, to come in. But yeah, Chicken Little is sort of like
Saying Chicken Little was enough cue that you needed. Go ahead, please talk.
Chicken Little is sort of like the Guardians of the Galaxy approach to like to Disney animated stuff, where it's just like it's not necessarily original songs. It's like here's a combination of old songs with a combination of One Little Slip by Brennigans Ladies. It's part of the reason why it's on here. But yeah, I think
No,
it's
the
just
only reason it's on here.
hey, it's the end of the world is a great use of for whenever they do like the actual like apocalyptic sort of alien invading thing. Tangled, I'm quite surprised that it's not on anybody else's list. I think it really captures the overall dynamic of the movie itself. I forget the name of the song, but whenever like it's a Mother Don't or whatnot.
Mother Knows
Fantastic
Best.
soundtrack.
Mother Knows Best.
Fantastic. You can't even pull a song. That's
There we
fantastic.
go.
Here we go.
This was an hour earlier than I thought it was going to be, good sir. And then I see the light. Was also a really good duet. I think that I think needs to be on this list.
Okay. How dare you, sir? I don't ever give anybody a real hard time for their 10. But for you to use the movie Guardians of the Galaxy to explain Chicken Little, you have no class, sir, and you are shameful. You put it on there because of Bare Naked Ladies, and that's the only reason you put this on this list. And that's you have a shtick in this community, and you're gonna go with it. Terrible choice, awful choice. Don't ever let it happen again. The rest of you are all on trial at this point. Tangled is arguably one of the best movies from the 2010s on. That soundtrack is brilliant. The opening song is fantastic. When Will My Life Begin? Mother Knows Best. I've Got a Dream. There are classic songs throughout the entire thing that are fun, and I don't understand why you all hate great Disney movies. The funny thing is, Barr, Chance, and Boatman, you get to say nothing during this part, so this is fantastic. But yeah,
Okay.
How dare you all? Brooklyn, and how dare you? It's at 8. I have no idea. I can just imagine what is higher. Can't wait to see Treasure Planet pop up. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Chance. Give us your 10, 9, 8.
Okay, so my number 10 is Mulan. My number was that a yikes?
Semi yikes.
I have a
Is it
semi
7 through 4?
It's the same spot.
That's not a yikes.
So yeah,
yikes! God damn it! Don't listen. So yeah, my number 10 is Mulan. My number 9 is Dumbo, and my number 8 is a Goofy movie.
So I've that at 9.
Okay, so what we'll do is Mulan is at Barr's 10, and okay, so you'll both talk about Mulan, then you'll talk about Goofy movie, and then we'll save your last thing for. Did you say Dumbo?
Yes.
For the love of everything holy. Okay, are you talking live action or are you talking the 40s?
The live action isn't really a musical, so 40s.
Okay, still incorrect, but here we go. Let's go through Mulan first.
So yeah, Mulan is one that when I got the criteria, it originally wasn't on my list, but when I got the full criteria, it kind of snuck its way in. But I still think it's a great soundtrack. From the opening song, I actually think is really good. The whole matchmaking song, Reflection, I think is one of like maybe top 3 Disney princess, like top 3, top 5 Disney princess themes. The song "Make a Man Out of You" is great, despite the fact that Donny Osmond's in it. And yeah, I mean, it's so low because it's not the movie itself is not attingent on the music, and the soundtrack itself. When you look at like the song, it's actually really short, but the song they do have actually think are really good. And the Stevie Wonder song at the very end, "True to Your Heart," is also a really good tune.
Yeah. So, we're gonna. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
So yeah, I also have this at number 10. I agree that not all the songs necessarily need to connect to the movie, except for a girl worth fighting for.
Girl Worth Fighting For.
That one works really well with the movie. It's just it feels like it's not enough songs connected in the movie. I think there's really only 4, so that's why.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
Yeah, so it's at my number 10 because of that.
All right, now talk Boatman and Chance talk about Goofy movie real quick, and then we'll
we're
go to
just
Dave.
skipping Dumbo. Okay, I'm happy.
Well, that's gonna be my last one. So
okay, yeah. So a Goofy. Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead, Boatman. I'll
Oh
support
yeah.
you.
Powerline just fantastic music. Stand Out and Eye to Eye are all like classic, like early 90s kind of style of tunes. They're fantastic. And then you've got some more like classical show tunes in there with After Today and On the Open Road. So I think it's a really underrated soundtrack.
Yeah, and I also think a better song in that movie is probably my favorite one that's not Powerline. It might take away the first Powerline song is the duet between Goofy and Max, Nobody Else But You. I just think that's a really, really good emotional song between father and son. And yeah, I think this is just, it's one of those soundtracks where I can just like put it on at any time. It's like, well, it's a Goofy movie. Yeah, let's listen to it. Because I just think it's a really fun soundtrack.
And go ahead, Dumbo.
Dumbo? Okay. Well, I'll tackle the crows last, which can sound awkward for me. But Dumbo makes my list just because it invokes an emotional response on me that really no other Disney film does. Just because, and a large part of that is Baby Mine. That was a song my mother used to sing to me when I was little. And so every time I hear that song, it just brings something out of me. And it just touches me in a way that really no other Disney soundtrack does. But even aside from that, I think the song we're taking, The Circus, is a good one. Here Comes Mr. Stork, the opening song, is really good. I like Casey Jr. quite a lot. I'll talk on the Crows real quick. Yes, do they hold up? No, but I'll admit, when I was younger and I did not fully understand racism yet, I thought they were funny. Like, I seen a house fly, I seen a dragon fly. Granted, when they got to the chorus, I'd be like, when I see an elephant fly, fried chicken, watermelon, collard greens, cold bread, and red drink. But yeah, it gets a little problematic, but I'll still listen to that song, I'll still enjoy it, I'll still laugh at it. But yeah, I think Dumbo, just for a pure emotional hippocampus level, that gets on my list. And the reason it's not higher on is just because I'll listen to a lot of the other soundtracks more than I will listen to Dumbo.
Okay, so your 10 was Mulan. I was about to rake you guys over the coals, but then Chance said something that kind of got to me, is it's not so contingent on the movie, which I think is a yes and no, but there is not that many songs. It goes by real quick with the songs. Yeah. So I can't be too mad at it. I honestly believe Make a Man Out of You is arguably probably in the top 15 of Disney songs. I think it's great. And Reflections is fantastic as well. But 10's fine now that I'm looking back on it. Number 8 was Goofy movie for you guys. This is one that I refuse to go back and watch because I just don't know how it's going to age. Like, I rewatched Space Jam not too long ago, and I wish I would have never went back to the camp.
Oh, yeah, that movie sucks.
It does, but I love it, but it sucks.
Oh. Goofy movie's that one because when you started talking about the songs, I was like, yeah, that was fantastic, but I don't know if I can go back in that world. And then number 9, I hate Dumbo. I think Dumbo, I've never gravitated toward Dumbo. You did the best job you could of selling the Crow song, so well done. But it still didn't hold up, and I just
Dumbo, what the fuck?
It does not connect with me, and I don't think the music has ever stayed with me. To when I think of Disney songs, I don't even think they ever come up in my head. Like, and that's a problem for me. But again, it's your bottom of your list. You're still in safe zone. But you didn't use like Guardians of the Galaxy or some like great soundtrack to describe your soundtrack. We're gonna go to Boat Fella. What's up, buddy? Let's hear about all your children songs at the bottom. Here we go.
Okay, my number 10 is 2011's The Muppets.
Yikes!
Oh, yikes! Okay. Eligible? Yeah, it's live. I was told live action and animation.
It's a Disney movie. It counts.
Yeah, 9 we already talked about, a Goofy movie, and 8 Hercules.
Yikes!
I hear Barr having a real visceral reaction right now.
I was told animation. It was only animation, but okay.
Who told you that?
Probably me.
Not gonna name names.
I have the text right here.
The list has changed a couple times. If you need to make an alteration to the top ones, you send it to Koho right now. I'll allow it. but make it fast. Okay, we'll go through your 10-9-8. Did anybody? Oh, somebody had a yikes on Muppets.
I did. I yiked Muppets.
Let's go through Hercules. That's fine. Oh, did you have a yikes on Hercules too?
I had
Brooklyn
Hercules.
did.
Okay, you're not talking about anything right now, Boatman, and we're gonna go to Barr. So this is gonna be interesting. Apparently, he sent his way early in the list, so I forgot to go back and let him know that. So here we go, Barr. What's your 10-9-8?
All right. My number 10, as we said, was Mulan. My number 9 is Robin Hood. Okay. And my number 8 is Sleeping Beauty. Shut up, Boatman! You don't get to talk this round. So
I do, and that's a problem.
All right, so let's start with Robin Hood. I love country music, and Robin Hood, the music is so folksy and rich. Not a Nottingham is so good, and the melodies in this are just I love them. They're so warm. Oodalolly, golly, what a day. Going on to my number 8, which is Sleeping Beauty. Shut your boat mouth. Sleeping Beauty. The choral songs in this are beautiful to listen to. They are beautiful to listen to. And one of my favorite Disney songs of all time, Once Upon a Dream, is in this movie. That is a gorgeous song, and Mary Costa has the voice of a goddamn angel. So this one's just a beautiful soundtrack to listen to.
Robin Hood. How massive is the soundtrack list on Robin Hood?
It's got a few.
Because you're right. I said Oodalolly, but what else you got for me? There's not that many.
Not in Nottingham, the King John, the song where they're making fun of King John.
Okay. I call them vignettes or little moments, not full songs at times. But that's fine if you want to. I wouldn't consider it that great of a soundtrack. I love the music when it comes into it, but it plays no part really in the movie. Like the movie stands on itself. I think Robin Hood's a fantastic movie though. But this next one's gonna hurt. Arguably one of the worst Disney movies of all time.
Oh, the movie's not great.
Yeah, and the soundtrack don't make it much better.
The only reason it's low is because Skumps sucks.
I understand that you sit out like you get a little closer to heaven and hear angels singing. That song doesn't do much for me either. When I think of Disney songs, I think it's been outdone. Like that version or that kind of song has been outdone in other princess movies better. So. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You were born later in life, like you were. You were a child when that was your go-to movie, apparently. But no, that what? Donkey, stop, Tony Heald. I'm gonna ban him. Like, stop his antics. Done with him. He throws me off every time. Okay, so Barr, while you work on trying to revise your list, because I was a douche and did not tell you that some things change. If you need to add something, go ahead.
We're
gonna go to Brooklyn. We're going to start with your 7, move our way up. I don't even know if he's still here with us.
I'm still here.
Okay, so your 7, tell us what it is, and then get ready for the floodgates.
It's the yikes from earlier, which is Hercules.
Okay. So go ahead and talk about it.
All right, so yeah, Hercules I really like because like as an adult I never realized gospel music is actually like a really good fit for like a music about gods and demigods and whatnot, and that surprisingly works. I'm on a freaking brain fart. I Can Go the Distance. I Can Go the Distance. Is one of the greater sort of I Want songs. Won't Say I'm in Love is surprise. It's like you never think of it as a palate cleanser, but it is because everything else is sort of gospel and horny. But it also really works as a great love song. Zero to Hero is also great, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Gospel Truth. That's why it's kind of lower on my list. But I think overall, it's a really good soundtrack.
Boatman.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack's really good. I think the standout track is I Won't Say I'm in Love. It doesn't really go for a gospel tone, more of like a 60s like Motown style, which I think really works. And yeah, that song is kind of perfectly placed and perfectly done for what it needs to be. And then the other songs are real good too. Go the Distance, Zero to Hero is a lot of fun. I don't love every single song, but I think most of them are good. I don't love One Last Hope.
No one likes you. I love Hercules. I think Hercules is one very underrated Disney movie, and I think the soundtrack plays so much with it. I think it was such an interesting thing to set with the gospel tones. No, I will not say a palate cleanser, you douche. But I love I even like Danny DeVito's song throughout it. What's the song?
One Last Hope.
Oh, you're a douche. That's a fantastic song. It's a great character song. Great sidekick song. Go the Distance. I won't say I'm in love. Zero to Hero. It's fantastic. I stand by all those animations. Barr, Chance, you elitist bastards. Why didn't Hercules make your list? Because Dumbo needed to, apparently, and Sleeping Beauty. So go ahead and tell me why.
You want to go first, Barr?
Sure, why not? I'll take the bus. So I think this movie has 2 really great songs and then a bunch of songs that don't stick with me. I think I Won't Say I'm in Love and Go the Distance are really, really good songs. Alan Menken would go on to do better Motown stuff when he writes Sister Act the musical. He's still kind of finding his Motown soul tone in this movie, so they don't stick with me.
Yeah, and as for me, I'm not super big on this movie, just in general, and most of the songs I find it just pretty forgettable. Like I remember I watched this right before I did my Disney trivia match, and yeah, I finished. I'm just like, I don't remember a single goddamn song from this movie. The one I do is because Michael Bolton sings it. So yeah, I'm not super big on this movie nor the soundtrack.
Yeah, but those Crows songs really stick in your head. Okay.
It did actually.
That's disgusting. Okay, we're going to move to your 6, Brooklyn.
So my 6 is Aladdin.
Yikes.
Okay, 5.
And number 5 is going to be Mary Poppins.
Yikes.
Go your 4.
My number 4 is The Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I have it at 6.
Okay,
So
you
not
guys
a
can talk
yes.
about it.
Yeah, so we can talk about it.
Bowman, you go first.
Oh yeah, I think Little Mermaid is legitimately has like one of the best soundtracks, but I think it's a little more hit and miss than I remember because I listened to like the whole thing, but I think the ones that work are like top tier. I think Part of Your World is the best I Want song Disney has ever done. Under the Sea is the best sidekick song. And I think Kiss the Girls is like really underrated. Like not underrated, but like doesn't get brought up as much as it should. And I think it's just a great track that la 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 la. I like that a lot.
Right. If we're talking about like just the movie itself, this is probably a lot lower, probably not even on my list. But soundtrack wise, this is great. I think this is one of the best examples of like just letting individual characters shine. There isn't a lot of like synergy and like sort of back and forth. Poor Unfortunate Souls is a great showcase for Ursula. Part of Your World is a great showcase of Ariel, and then Under the Sea is just a great showcase of Sebastian. And I think that's why it gets so high for me.
Hey, Koho, by the way, when you want to get your opinions across, you should use a fake account and not Multiplex because we all know it's you. Here's the thing I'll say. I think movie-wise, you're 100% correct. I think if it's a movie, it does not make the top 10 anymore. I don't think it ages that well. It's basically get with the man just to, have the man use your body language. It's terrible. But Poor Unfortunate Souls is arguably one of the best villain songs that's ever been. Part of Your World is a great introduction to who Ariel is. Under the Sea and Kiss the Girl is in top 10 of sidekick songs throughout. I think Under the Sea has got so much fun throughout that entire song. So if we're talking soundtrack alone, yes, the reason why I think Barr and Chance probably didn't have it on there because the movie's not their favorite or not there, so the songs don't do it. But we'll see. You guys go ahead and tell me why Little Mermaid did not make your list.
I can make mine super quick. This one, for some reason, just kind of slipped my mind. This would have been my number 10 if I had got it in on time.
I forgot. That's his reason. For me, this is one I considered, but when I just like lined up my whole list, this one just didn't make it. I think it's a good soundtrack. I don't begrudge anyone for having it on their list, but it just didn't make mine.
And then this definitely proves that not everybody can sing Sebastian songs. Shaggy, I'm talking to you. Let's just stay away from that. That was garbage.
I've been meaning to get high and watch that one.
There is not enough weed that you can smoke to enjoy that. And his jacket is even worse than his singing voice.
You don't like the flounder puppet?
Oh, God. That is stuff out of a night, like a horror movie. That set that they created should be the next filming from a Blumhouse movie. I promise you, it is freaking terrifying.
Now I'm definitely watching this.
I'd say take some acid, but it ain't legal. Chance, go to your 7 through 4. Oof, that movie's rough.
7 through 4. Okay, so my number 7, I'm gonna bet it's a yikes. My number 7 is Beauty and the Beast.
Yikes.
That's what I thought. Okay. My number 6 is a yikes from earlier, The Muppets. Did I talk about this one now, or?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Let me realize why it's 6.
So yeah, I think The Muppets is one of my favorite franchises just in general. I think it's any one of the movies I can watch and have a smile on my face the whole time and just enjoy it. But The Muppets, I think this did a really good job at like blending new voice and comedy into these kind of songs. I think that's due in large part to having Brett McKenzie of Flight of the Conchords, who I love to death, come in and write these songs because. Yeah, I think he has fun. He plays around with it. He's able to inject a whole lot of laughs into every single song they have. I think the opening one is great. It's Man or Muppet, which won a freaking Oscar. It has the single best recording. We built this thing on rock and roll, mostly because it's a shitty song, but Muppets make it better. Yes, it is, Brooklyn, you know it. But yeah, I think this is. Well, granted, this is the only Muppet soundtrack that would qualify for this list, but I do think it's definitely one of the better ones. One of the better ones in the Disney. It makes my list the same way the Goofy movie list, and I can put it on and just enjoy it, laugh, and just have a good time.
Yeah, I think.
Who else had it on the list?
I did.
Okay, cool.
I think that 6 is a little high, but like I get why it's on your list because there are some good songs. I think Life's a Happy Song is like fantastic and really fun. It's such a good one. And I think really underrated is I'm trying to think, but it's the one where it's like he's thinking about getting the band back together.
Pictures
and like
in my head.
Pictures in my head. That's what it's called. Yep. Pictures in my head legit gets me. That's legit sad, but like I like that one a lot. It's really good. And then yeah, of course, Man or a Muppet is really great. I think Chris Cooper's rap really doesn't really work. I don't love Party of One either. But the ones that work,
but I think the fact that it doesn't work makes it a little funnier to me.
I guess, but we're talking best soundtracks, not like best movie. So like, yeah.
But I'm not even talking about just the soundtrack. I think the fact that it's Chris Cooper doing a rap just make that song just. I laugh out loud every time I hear that song.
Well, welcome back to the adult table. No, this terrible. I think the Muppets. I'm sorry, Zach Ford. I'm sorry, everybody that's a Muppet fan. I have signed numerous petitions to get them banned from every medium of all kinds. I think they're terrible. I think there is one that I will stand, and that is Christmas Carol. That is it. That is the only good Muppets movie. The rest of them are dog trash. And I'm sorry.
It's not my problem. You can't feel joy.
I feel a lot of joy. I'm happy all the time. That one does not bring joy.
You really aren't, though, Cody.
Listen. I did not enter the Dr. Phil show. You're not going to tell me how I feel. I feel fine, and I'm happy. All right. So I think that's a dumb choice. Barr and Brooklyn, you guys are uncultured for not liking the Muppets, so why is it on your list?
All right. I actually really like half of the music from this movie. I think Pictures in My Head is beautifully sad. I really like Manor Muppet. I really like Life's a Happy Song. And then aside from the cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit, which is kind of funny, I'm not a big fan of the rest of the music in this.
I never even really thought to put this in contention. It sort of just kind of went zoom over my head. And also, there is no saving We Built the City on Rock and Roll. It is a garbage song. You can have fucking Freddie Mercury cover that song, and it's still going to suck. It's awful.
Hey, this made it a little better.
I love that song.
Slightly.
You are a douche. Move on.
Of course you love
He's
that
right.
song, Cody.
Yeah, we
so
built this city.
My 5 and 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my 5, I'd be shocked if it wasn't actually. Number 5 is The Lion King.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Yep, I figured. And my number, I know, Cody's going to yell at me later. I know, but my number 4 is Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. So Nightmare Before Christmas it really appeals to my sensibilities. I like, kind of like dark, twisted shit like that. But the soundtrack, I actually find to be really operatic. I find it to be really haunting. Just with the vocals and the orchestrations, I think are all fantastically done. I think Danny Elfman has a surprisingly good singing voice. I thought he did a great job carrying a lot of the songs. The opening, This Is Halloween. One of my favorite Halloween songs, just period. The Oogie Boogie song, What's This? Kidnap the Santa Claus. Just so many of these that I can listen, and it just takes me back to. It just reminds me why I love Nightmare Before Christmas and movies like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, no, sorry, Nazario. I don't like this movie at all. I
Shocker.
don't. Yeah, sorry. The joy just left me real quick. Yeah, I don't find this movie appealing. I don't like the songs. I don't like it on Halloween. I don't like it on Christmas. I don't even like it during April. I don't find this movie appealing at all. Snow Song's latched to me. So you say he has an alright singing voice. I say throw it in the garbage. Anybody else on Nightmare Before Christmas?
You are
I'm going
basically just the normal version of Dr. Evil, basically. Just if he was a normal guy. Just with the throw it in the garbage. That's how you sound like.
Cody.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, not you, Chance. Cody. Over there.
That's what I'd be like, God damn.
I will
No.
I will gladly throw you in the garbage. Okay?
You already have.
I did not say I want laser beams attached to any freaking shark's head, so let's keep going. Tell me why
What
you
was
didn't
that
put
list
this on
of
there.
Warzone recommendations you had for me? You had.
Okay, so to get onto a different
Thank you.
track,
Thank
back on
you.
track. This was kind of an honorable mention for me. I really like Sally's song. Sally's song, I think, is beautiful.
Great.
I love Oogie Boogie's song. That is one of the best Disney villain songs ever made. This Is
Agreed.
Halloween is good. What's This is good. Everything else, fine.
Douglas Castle up in the corner by the duck, because you go on weird tangents that make no sense. Please tell me, Boatman, why it wasn't on your list.
I'll be honest, I didn't even think about it. It didn't come across my mind once. I think if it would have made my list, maybe like 10, but probably not actually. I like What's This, and I like the Oogie Boogie song. This Is Halloween's okay, but yeah.
A lot of That's okay. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
I'm a complete fucking moron and forgot that this was an eligible
We already knew
soundtrack.
that.
Yeah,
You've
so
been in therapy for a while, so please
Sorry.
go ahead.
yeah, so getting some weird stuff here. Yeah, so Nightmare Before Christmas is a great soundtrack that I definitely forgot. It was probably be like middling 6 to 5 ish. As a band geek, I really enjoy it for the reasons of like it's just arranged really beautifully, and like the gears sort of all come together. And I love it. I love it for that reason. But yeah, I'm a fucking moron.
4 before he talks about composition one more time.
What was that?
You're 4.
I thought that was his 4.
Oh, that was my 4.
Oh, then it's over to me.
What was your 5?
Lion King. It got yikes.
Oh. Okay, Boatman, go ahead.
My number 7 is Moana.
Yikes.
Oh, wow. Oh, yikes. Okay.
Oh.
It's in
my
your
number
top 3?
6.
Yes, it is my top 3.
My number 6 is The Little Mermaid. And my number 5 is Tarzan. Yeah, we talked about. Oh, okay. And we talked about.
Did you realize that we did? Did you not remember that we talked about The Little Mermaid?
I'm just reading this off, and I kind of.
You old fart! Like, good lord, you just look. Well, what? We're talking about movies? Okay, well, we talked about it, Bowman. Promise. And Jello is served at 5. Just remember that. Be at the dinner table for your senior citizen breakfast. Okay, tell us.
Oh, and my 4 is The Lion King, which is also getting yikes. So.
Yep, I figured it.
4 is not that low. Calm down, Cody.
Okay, you're about to see what the circle of life is all about.
You are the antelope in the situation that will become the
Barr, tell us. Did you make any substitutions?
I made one, and I put it here. My number 7 is going to be yikes. It's Mary Poppins.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
Or
Yeah.
not kind of. Yeah.
I got you. My number 6 is Princess and the Frog.
Yikes.
Cool. My number 5 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. No one. Wow. Okay. Stephen Schwartz's music in this is beautiful to listen to. I talked about the choral singing from Sleeping Beauty. This is the apex. The Bells of Notre Dame is one of the most amazing songs to listen to. Hellfire is arguably the best Disney villain song. And when you combine it with Heaven's Light, it is the perfect duality piece. I don't care, Cody. The one weakest song on here is the Gargoyle song. And also God Help the Outcast is good. It's really good. But no, this one is beautiful to listen to, and it's Stephen Schwartz's best work with Disney.
Oh my gosh. I was going to let you off. I was so going to let you off if you would have just said Hellfire. Hellfire is arguably one of the best songs, but it's paired with one of the worst pairing. His voice is terrible in this.
Oh.
I'm telling you, it does not match. Bells of Notre Dame and Hellfire are 2 groundbreaking songs. Literally, I don't even know what that said, but it came from Dedicated to Fart, so I don't know if I trust it. Arguably, those 2 songs, great. The rest of the movie, I don't think that soundtrack is that great, and I think Quasimodo songs are just... and you're right, there was a Gargoyle song, yeah, it's a weak part. Correct, Mary. So, yeah, I have to disagree with you. I think the opening song... I've said this before, in opening song of Disney movies, I think Bells of Notre Dame is on par or sometimes even better than The Circle of Life. And that is harsh saying it from me because that song builds so much tension throughout it. So that's fine, but it's definitely unbalanced. And that's rough for me. Everybody, nobody else had Hunchback. Say something.
I'm going to echo what Nazario says right here. A Guy Like You is one of the worst Disney songs of all time. I hate that song with a burning passion. Like, legit, it's annoying, it's stupid, it wrecks the entire tone of the movie. It was slotted in there because, we need a Disney sidekick song in a movie that does not need or it does not fit in the movie. Makes no sense. Yeah, like that's the main reason I can't put it on my list if it has one of the worst Disney songs of all time in there.
Anybody else?
Yeah, this is the same case as Hercules for me, where like I think it's one or two really honorable songs, and then the rest is just a blank slate. I cannot remember any song in the movie to save my life aside from Hellfire and Bells of Notre Dame. But I do think Hellfire is a great song. I don't know why you're coming down so hard on Tony J singing, but whatever, that's you. Yeah, it's just not a soundtrack that I personally hold in high regard.
Chance, you literally asked why I'm coming down on somebody on a show called Your List Sucks. It's part of the job title. Brooklyn.
I know why you gotta pick on Tony J. Can't you let the man rest in peace?
No. All right, Brooklyn. Tell me why the composition is terrible in one of these songs, and it doesn't. There's no palette cleanser in this song. Go ahead.
Favorite and retweet what that man said. Hellfire, and then
Yeah, and Hellfire is paired with
Heaven's
a terrible song. It's
One of the
terrible.
most
I love you,
beautiful
Tony J.
One of the most
Terrible.
beautiful songs that Steven Schwartz has ever made.
Okay,
Gosh.
so to my next
one.
pick.
Bohemian Rhapsody, Hellfire.
Now, what's your 4?
Okay.
My number 4 is Tarzan.
Yikes!
Figured.
Yikes.
I'm so shocked. What? Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
We're gonna go to Brooklyn, right?
Yep.
No. Wait,
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Three times.
Brooklyn, Chance, Boatman, Barr.
All right, my number 3. I'll be very surprised if it's on anybody's list. The Jungle Book. No,
Wait, you're 3?
my 3.
He just realized where it was.
Hey, Boatman. I know you just got coffee at the local Carl's Jr. or Hardee's, but let me tell you, we've already been through 10. We're at 3 now. Yes, you put Jungle Book this high. That senior citizen is going to kick the shit out of you in a second. Just get ready for it. He is so mad.
Jungle Book.
His
Jungle
cane.
Book. Oh, okay.
Swinging it.
Wait a minute. 3?
Get off my lawn.
When Nick Carly says that, you're a deep shit.
And I love the picture, like somebody jumping over fire. That's literally what you're doing right now. Go ahead.
I love the Jungle Book for the overall, I guess, atmosphere that it provides. I'm a sucker for jazz and for sort of swing type music. And I think it does it well without sacrificing like the trying to tell the story. I mean, The Bare Necessities is an all-time classic, and so is I want to be like you. And I think those are great examples of what I just said, where they just sort of they maintain that beat and that vibe. But there are movies in like that Disney would do later where they try to do the same thing, but there are times where they have to try and tell story, and it's like, well, let's do the usual Disney trope of like adding in like violence and horns and strings, and it's like you're taking away from the tone that you're trying to set with the first minute or so of the song.
Brooklyn.
Cody.
You painted a lot of reasons why you like that type of music, but this movie has very little worthwhile songs in it. I Want to Be Like You and Bare Necessities are literally two of the most standout, but other than that, the overall movie falls very flat on music. It falls so flat on music that when they made the remake, they barely included it because it really didn't need it to survive in the movie. So, yeah, 3 is atrocious. Like, where did you have Lion King on your list yet, or is it still higher?
It's still higher.
Okay, well, at least you have some decency, man. But other than that, you put some ones below it that should be way higher. So you may enter the Hall of Fame for this. You may enter. Yeah, you're getting close.
Wait, number 3?
What? 3? Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh,
What are you talking about? It's one of the 60s, and it wasn't that great then. Why is it on the list? Okay, senior citizen Boatman. Tell me why you just punched Earl in the face in the senior citizen home because Brooklyn put it at number 3. So go ahead, give your rant.
Yeah. So number 3, way too high. There's like one good song in this movie, one okay song, and the rest are trash. The elephant song, you're really gonna call the elephant marching song? Yeah, that deserves to be top soundtracks of all time. The elephants are marching along. That's a great track. Like, just that's up there with the Beatles, man. Like, I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic. Cody, what are you doing? Calm down.
What are you doing?
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. What is the best song of Jungle Book?
I want to be like you.
Bare necessities. Bare necessities.
Nah,
Okay, fair.
Bare
That's
Necessities
the
is
correct
okay.
thing. Yeah, it's
just
okay.
It's okay.
Barr, and Chance. Go ahead.
Chance after you.
Yeah, I think it's for the reasons you guys said. It's like bare necessities, want to be like you, and then just a bunch of like basically musical filler. And like drinking, like listening to the Jungle Book soundtrack, like drinking water. It goes down easy. You don't even notice it when it's gone, and you're not gonna like go clamor for more. Like it's just, I find it ridiculous that this is 3. Although I'm gonna be more ridiculous. You have 1 and 2, especially one of them, not the other. But yeah, 3. This is, oof.
Yeah, Brooklyn's in the desert, needing the water right now. So go ahead.
So, fun story. Before I learned that I was allowed to put on some live action ones, this was my number 7. Because I do think I Want to Be Like You is a great song. I do like Bare Necessities. I actually even like the Vultures song in this one. But when I found out I could replace any of the ones that I honestly have not already read off, this was the one that I easily was ready to replace. So was on my list. Took it off.
All right. Chance, give us your 3.
So my 3 is one that was yikes like once or twice earlier, and that's Princess and the Frog. I know 2 people had that on their list.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
I was the one that didn't.
Okay, so yeah. So Prince and the Frog, I think the movie and the soundtrack are pretty underrated. More people can go revisit though, because they are really, really stand out. And much like Brooklyn, I like jazz. I think the jazz orchestrations here are easily better than the Jungle, but I don't know why that's higher than this. But yeah, you look at the song. I mean, the competition between Randy Newman, who I was shocked to find out later in life actually did these songs. The Dr. John down in New Orleans is a great opener and closer. Aside from that, you got Almost There, which is actually my favorite Disney princess theme of all time. I think that is an absolutely great track. When We're Human, Go Down the Bayou, one that I think really doesn't get a lot of love. It's Dig a Little Deeper. And also one of my favorite Disney villain songs, maybe top 3, is Friends on the Other Side. I think this soundtrack really hits. It's not a song I dislike on this entire thing. And yeah, this is why it's that high for me.
2 other people had it, so go ahead and talk about it before I talk about it.
I had it at number 6. Brooklyn, where did you have it?
I had it at 9.
All right, so I'll talk about it. This is some of Randy Newman's best soundtrack work ever. It probably is his best soundtrack ever. Dr. Facilier's Friends on the Other Side is so good. It's easily in the top 3 Disney villain songs for me. I actually really even like My Belle Evangeline. I think that one's just kind of really charming. Yeah. And Chance is right. Almost There is one of the best Disney princesses song ever made. It's just so fun and energetic and lively and just screams New Orleans, and it's great.
Yeah, for the same reasons. I think it really captures the New Orleans sort of Cajun Bayou vibe that works really well. Friends on the Other Side is I'll sort of echo what they said, but where I was referencing the taking the break to sort of tell the story. that's where I was like, I wish they sort of kept it that, where it was like, oh, we're just gonna do what we usually do whenever somebody's trying to push along a plot or a story device. But for that reason as well, and I think if we did this list like 2 or 3 months later, this would probably be higher. This is actually a soundtrack that I listened to for this list, and the Jason Derulo song. The name is
it's Neo, you racist.
Not gonna lie. Thought it was Jason Derulo. It sounds a lot like Jason Derulo.
I don't sound anything alike.
All right, Neo sounds nothing like it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna steer this back on the same course.
Love you, Brooklyn.
Neo Derulo.
I'm gonna steer this way back on course. Again, I don't think the race has anything to do with it. It's just maybe a similar sounding voice, but they don't sound alike. Anyways, we're on something different. No. I just watched this movie recently. This was I literally watched it 3 days ago, and I think the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. It has moved up on my list in Disney movies every time I've watched it. Almost There is arguably one of the best Disney songs that has ever been written. I think Friends on the Other Side is a fantastic villain song, especially that was right at the transition period of where the animation style was going, like ending, and where Tangled picked up and went to a different direction. Because I think the entire, I think standalone, the soundtrack works great by itself, and it works even better in the movie. So, I think that's just a fantastic choice on that. I'm with you. Got to dig a little deeper in the movie. That song really, really plays well, and I couldn't agree more. I think the story is so uplifting. I think the music is uplifting. I think the jazz elements are fantastic. I don't think people give that movie enough credit. It was kind of in a weird period for Disney, where they weren't hitting that
was like right before they started. It was like right before they started doing like only computer animation.
Yeah, but it wasn't hitting like they did like the Home on the Range as they did Chicken Little. They weren't like in their stride like they were, and I think this one launched where it took off. And people just didn't give it a shot, and they gave Tangled a shot, and they gave the other ones a shot. So I think everybody needs to go revisit. Plus, we have a dislike on this video now, which I think is very curious. I don't know if it's because I'm too heartless this episode, or if it's because Brooklyn put Jungle Book at 3. I'm not sure. I'm going to pass it off.
It's definitely why.
Pass it off because Brooklyn did it, or that I banned Tony Heald. By the way, Tony Heald's not banned. If he wants to post something, he can. So can Dedicated to Art, Fart, whatever they want to be called. We're going to. Oh, I'm really curious. Boatman.
I was hoping you would skip me.
Yeah, Boat.
Do you hate jazz? Do you
Okay.
hate Princess?
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
Look into my eyes when you say this.
I want to preface this with saying I think Down in New Orleans and Friends on the Other Side are two really great songs. And I'm going to end with that so that you guys don't punch me as hard.
No.
Almost there.
Come back here.
You're getting beaten up, by the way.
I don't love Almost There. I think it's okay. I hate going down the bayou. I don't love Dig a Little Deeper either. My Belle Evangeline, not great. I don't love that one either. But again,
Hold a hood on your hoodie over your face.
Down in New Orleans, and Friends on the Other Side are great. They're both
Can
great.
you just do me a favor?
I'm about to.
Next time, just say, I never got a chance to watching it. That would save you a lot more trouble. For you to defend it pisses me off. All right. We're going to go to... Whose turn is it?
Boats.
God damn this.
Okay.
Nazario.
Shut up, Nazario.
So, my number... Yeah, we're on my number 3.
Nazario didn't submit me a list for this episode. Where are you, Nazario?
Oh, he did?
No.
That's weird.
My number 3.
He knows he has a welcome service since he's been a host for me, so that's rude.
Number 3 is Mary Poppins.
Yikes.
Okay.
It's still higher. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Barr.
My number 3 is going to be a yikes. It's The Lion King. And that's thanks for Brooklyn.
No,
Is it a yikes
Brooklyn has it
number?
higher.
Yeah, Brooklyn has it higher.
Yes, it is. He has it higher.
Sorry, yeah, it's at 2.
It's at 2. Okay,
There
so
we go.
we're going to talk about it right here. Anybody else have Lion King any higher than 2?
Oh, no, not higher. Not higher. It's on my list, though.
Is it your 2?
No.
No,
It's
yours
my
is
4.
5. Yours is 5,
his-
4, 3, and 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done, everybody. You're all good. All right, so Brooklyn, take it away. Then go to Barr. Then go to Boatman, and then go to Chance.
So the Lion King.
I'll have nothing to say on this one. So
Okay. Yeah. So the Lion King is like as I said before, as a band geek, it's arranged beautifully. One of the most beautifully arranged soundtracks and whatnot. The Circle of Life, especially, even as I'm going through it in my head, where it's just like you have the solo vocals come in, and then it's like the backup vocals, and it's like, all right, well the strings come in underneath, and it's just like it gets chills down my spine, and just how everything works. Also, Elton John's work on the soundtrack is great. His version of Circle of Life is the best of the 1.5, I guess, or the. I find the Elton John version better than the movie version. But Just Can't Wait to Be King is also a great one. I Will Die on the Hill and Sing Hakuna Matata is a fun song. I really enjoy it. But I'm curious to hear what others have to say.
Yeah, so this is my number 3. Brooklyn said it, the arrangements are just amazing. They really are. And every time that chorus comes in, it's just astonishing to listen to. I think Circle of Life is arguably in the top 2 openings to a Disney movie ever. Probably number 1. I think Can You Feel the Love Tonight is actually really, really good, even though the Elton John version is a little better. And I think that Be Prepared is fantastic. The only reason it's at number 3 is because while I still like the songs, I can skip Hakuna Matata and Just Can't Wait to Be King, even though I like those songs.
Over to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Yes.
you got him mad, and now I'm gonna take it all. Thanks, Barr. You're a good friend.
You're welcome,
He still got
High
me.
five.
Oh yeah,
he
he's
still
still
got
got.
me left. I got it.
Well, he's not gonna get mad at you, or actually, he will.
No,
He
he
doesn't
won't.
care. Yeah, he'll get mad at you. So yeah. So this think about this with Chance. I think Hakuna Matata and Just Can't Wait to Be King. They're just okay. They're fine. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're not bad. They are not bad. They're just okay. Circle of Life is a masterwork. Be Prepared is a masterwork. And what's the other one? Whatever that. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? That's
The
a
other
masterwork.
one.
Yeah. Cody, remember, you need me for Warzone. Please don't strangle me with. Yes, thank you. This has been my TED Talk.
So now we're to me. Okay. So I can take all the anger. So awesome. Yeah, everything the guy said is correct. Although I'm gonna give Hakuna Matata a little bit more credit than these guys. I think it's a catchy tune. Only reason I have it as low as I do is because I actually, when it comes to Lion King, it's just talking movies, and when it comes to Lion King, I prefer the Broadway soundtrack. 99 times out of 100, if I want Lion King, I'm rooting for the Broadway soundtrack, because I feel like when they really embrace Africa, that's when the sound is at its peak. Although the movie itself, the movie soundtrack is great. Let me some Joseph Williams and Toto. But yeah, that's the only reason it's not higher on my list, because we're purely talking movies. I'll reach these other movie soundtracks before I reach for the Lion King movie soundtrack.
Cody's eyes when you said you prefer the Broadway version.
Because the Broadway version is fucking incredible.
Okay. Okay. So when I made this list, when I made the topic for the list, I already assumed that Lion King would not take the number 1 spot. Boatman raised a very good point when we were discussing this topic, and when he sent me his list. He had a very good point. I think if we included score and songs, Lion King would be 1. I think the score builds so much into the movie. I think Hakuna Matata is atrocious of a song, honestly. If I'm being, the problem that I had was If you would have just stuck with that, that would have been fine with me. I get it. You brought I Just Can't Wait to Be King, which I think is a absolute dog shit statement. The back and forth between Zazu and young Simba is amazing. And that's a fun part of Disney where you can do the back and forth. And if you haven't done that in the car, well, I would suggest you try it because it's fantastic. And as somebody that's played Zazu since '94, since the movie came out, singing in the car, I have that rolled down pat. All I'm saying is I think the soundtrack is fantastic. Brooklyn, you have a very hot take that you think The Circle of Life by Elton John is better than the original in the movie.
No. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Sorry.
I will stand by that. The only reason why I say I like it better because you get the Timon and Pumbaa elements built into the song. But basically, if you care about the song, it's that. So everybody had it roughly. There's only a few like soundtracks that I'm like, you can't put it higher than that. I think 5's a little rough. 4's fine. 3 is reasonable. 2 is correct. Because we're going to the list. I think there was 4 or 5 that could top it, and it seems to be that case at some of you guys. I'm excited that I'm honestly excited that Chance put Princess of the Frog as high as he did. I think that movie needs more light than what The Lion King needs at this point. And 2019's Lion King did not do any service for the soundtrack whatsoever because that thing is atrocious, and I will stand by that. Let's move on to number 2's of Chance.
This is a yikes. My number 2 is Mary Poppins. Yeah, I think didn't we all have it on there? Or was it?
Well, that's my number 3, so it's
my number 4.
And Barr had a 7.
Okay, it would have been higher.
Mary Poppins. Julie Andrews, man. Julie Andrews can fucking sing, and every song she sings in this soundtrack, she knocks it out of the park. Like we go through Spoonful of Sugar, Chimchurri. Is anything she has to do as far as singing goes is fantastic. I think Dick Van Dyke has a really good voice. Step in Time, I think, is a great song. The opening, I don't really remember the name of it, but I think that was great. I think the lyrics by I'm blanking.
Sherman Brothers.
Sherman Brothers. There we go. The Sherman Brothers. I think they did a really good job of writing songs that have some meaning to them. They're whimsical. They're fun, but they do end up serving the story and trying to convey what's going on in characters' heads at any given point. I think they did a great job of that. They did go on to win an Oscar for the song, much well deserved. And yeah, I think this soundtrack lends itself really well to like a big theatrical movie type like this.
Whoever had it higher next.
I had it 3, so I'll go.
Go ahead.
I think in the future, when AI has become so advanced that you can't tell robots from people, you just need to play Let's Go Fly a Kite. And you need to show them that scene. And if you don't have a smile on your face, you are not a human. That entire scene, it's so great. And then Feed the Birds is so emotional. And Spoonful of Sugar is such a fun tune. It's the Sherman Brothers, all the credit to the Sherman Brothers. I mean, Julie Andrews has such a great voice, but the Sherman Brothers made so many incredible tunes, great musicals. I love Let's Go Fly a Kite. It's such a great moment. Like, that's legit one of the best moments in film history. I'm legit about that. And of course, Chim Chim Cheree, Step in Time, Supercalifragilistic. They're all classic tunes. I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch.
So I had a number 4. The only thing that I'll add is you guys are forgetting about Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, a song that is. Said it. Yeah, fair enough. I'm sort of all over the place right now. It's just this great example of controlled chaos where, like, arrangement-wise, that song can really get out of hand quickly if not handled properly. But it's the way that they're able to control the pace and just have it reined in, but yet have all these different parts moving, like I've said before, and it just works really well.
So this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and the music is a real big reason for that. Boat already brought up the Let's Go Fly a Kite scene. Feed the Birds is honestly one of the most beautiful Disney songs ever created. It is gorgeous. And even I Love to Laugh. Even I Love to Laugh is such a really good song. Yeah, this is just one of the best soundtracks ever made. Really is.
Then why would you put it at 7, you idiot? No, I'm
We'll
just
talk
kidding.
about that later.
I had to go there. So people will be really surprised with this, but when I say my favorite Disney song of all time is not from The Lion King, it is actually from Mary Poppins, and it's "Let's Go Fly a Kite." The emotional element, the fun, the turn of character for Banks in this, it's so great. I think I'm not the biggest fan of Feed the Birds, and I know that's the heartless moment in me. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. But I think everything, Chim Chimney, and the list goes on and on. The songs are fantastic. And it shows how much it's from the 60s. It still holds up. It's still arguably one of the things. And I just watched Saving Mr. Banks recently, and I know there's some people have mixed emotions on it. I honestly love that movie. I think that movie has so many elements, and I'd love to see the make of Mary Poppins and this character that she held so dear to her be made into a movie. So, yeah, I think proper placement. And if it didn't make the list, if it wasn't on everybody's list, I think there's a problem. I don't think I picked the right people. And Barr would have put it higher, but since he didn't didn't get the rule change, I'll make it up to you on future episodes.
Yeah, we won't worry about that now.
Okay, so we'll go to 2 for Boatman.
All right, my number 2 is Beauty and the Beast.
I have it in the same spot.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
I love this movie so much, and the soundtrack is just so. Why, Cody? Just stop rolling your eyes for 1 second and actually listen to something someone else has to say instead of just adoring the sound of your own voice for just one hot second.
I just like that I'm so inside your head that I don't even have to pay rent anymore. So thanks. Let's keep going.
Belle is a great track. I think that I just love that Bonjour in Little Town, and it's great. Gaston might be my favorite villain song. It's between that and Hellfire. I think both are like fantastic. I think trying to think something there's really good. Of course, Beauty and the Beast, the title track, is great. I just think there are so many great songs on this soundtrack, and it's my second favorite Disney animated movie of all time. So I love it.
Yeah, this is some of Alan Menken's best work. The Belle is it's one of the best ensemble-y songs in a Disney movie where you just get like everyone talking about Belle. Maurice, the baguettes, hurry up. Even little things like that just add so much to the song. The only reason it's at number 2, not number 1, is because Something There is a song that while I would be okay skipping over. Whereas my number 1, I don't have that problem. So we'll get to that later.
I believe this was on Chance's list, and I believe
it was on mine.
And Brooklyn did not have it at all.
You fool.
For me, I agree with what all you guys said. I think that the opening song "Belle" is great. The I Want Adventure song, again, another great I Want song. Looking at Be Our Guest, Human Again, both great tracks. I think that I also guessed on. The only thing that separates it from movies or soundtracks are on my list is that much like Dumbo, it doesn't really have the replay value for me. Although I think that the orchestration and lyrics are good enough to the point where I'll put it a little higher than something that I'll listen to more like a Goofy movie.
Don't you dare compare this movie to Dumbo.
Yeah, that's a little rough. So yeah, Beauty and the Beast has always stuck with me. I still think looking back and
good question. The answer is yes. And Chip is brain dead.
That's very true. Yeah, so I've always took a stance on this. I'm not a real fan of the story of Beauty and the Beast as much as I am the soundtrack. I like the soundtrack better than the actual movie itself. And that's just over time. I just feel like it's very and I'm not one of those people that now is like, oh, it's Stockholm Syndrome, blah, blah. I just find it creepy at times. Like, Belle's educated, she sings, she does all these things, and the only two choices she has is either the burly hairy man or the actual hairy beast man. Like, she has no other options in France. I find that very awkward for me. But I think Belle is one of the greatest opening songs. I think Be Our Guest is one of the best sidekick songs. I think it's very weird that you can say there's something there as the skip song, because I think it's a total of a minute and 30 seconds. It's barely there. It's like she grabs my way, like that's it. So yeah, I find it, again, I'm a Lion King fan of it, so I'm always higher on that than Beauty and the Beast. But I think it deserves in the top 4, 100%. To not have it on your list is a little psychotic. So please explain to me why, when you think of Disney, Beauty and the Beast is not one that you talk about.
I wouldn't say that the Beauty and Beast soundtrack is overrated. I just find it kind of meh. I don't attach to it like everybody else does, and I understand that I'm in a minority whenever I say that. Like Gaston, I find is just a super simple 6/8 tune that's like dum, 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 dum. It's just I don't really have a whole lot of attachment to that one. The title track is just another sort of good but not great song. Be Our Guest, I think, is probably one of the more overrated songs of Disney's list, and it's just I for whatever reason I just listen to it and I'm like, this isn't my jam.
Yeah, Tangled is a master.
I cannot wait to talk about your number 1.
It is a masterpiece. You shut your dirty mouth. Brooklyn, spell it right. Good lord.
Spell it right at least.
Jesus, have some respect. He may think Jason Derulo and Nia was the same person, but listen, spell his name right. Here we go. Chance, give us your number. Oh, where are we at?
No, Brooklyn.
Number 1. Oh.
All right, we'll get out the pitchforks and whatnot. I'll be ready to be roasted to a nice medium rare.
I've had mine out for forever.
Yeah, Tarzan is the greatest Disney soundtrack ever. I would even argue that it's one of the greatest soundtracks ever made. It does some great things. It encapsulates the atmosphere. Like when you listen to the soundtrack alone, like just the way that it's arranged and how they blend in all these different instruments. I get that vibe of like we're in the jungle, like we're in the rainforest and whatnot. It is arranged beautifully. Two Worlds, One Family is one of the greatest arranged songs. You get great individual performances. You'll Be in My Heart. Try to sing that to someone you love and try not to cry. I've done it before, and I get to about the middle of the first chorus and I start to tear up. I can't do it. The only like really complaints that I have with the song is that Son of Man is kind of generic as in like it's just really easy to play and it's not hard for somebody to sort of pick up and just play themselves. Say what you will about trashing at the camp, but I think this is Cody's favorite word. It's a great palate cleanser, and it's sort of a break that we need from everything else. I am ready to hear why I am wrong.
Well, hold on. This is my number 4.
Okay.
Oh, do you have Tarzan too?
Yeah, number 4.
Oh, I thought Brooklyn was the only idea. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I had it at 5.
Oh my god!
I
don't feel
and I'm sensible.
So I really love "You'll Be in My Heart." I think it is one amazing song. I think Two Worlds is really beautiful as well. However, I think that Son of Man is fine. And I think Trash in the Camp is trash. It's the song that really hurts this soundtrack a lot. It is trash, that song.
You picked the lesser songs from this movie? Like the best songs from this movie are Son of Man and Strangers Like Me by far. I love both those songs. But yeah, I think that I don't like Phil Collins. I don't like Phil Collins as a singer. I don't really love Genesis.
Wow.
That being said, I think this is his best work by far, and I think it all really works. There's not really one that I dislike. I think all are good. I don't think any are great, except maybe Strangers Like Me, but they're all like solid. I can't find one that I'm like, ooh, that's oof. Like, I think they're all real good tracks. So yeah, I think this is a high quality. It's a good like 5 spot. One is a little rough, but I know Brooklyn has like a personal thing to it, so like I get it.
Okay, so I will talk about this. I think this is a fine soundtrack. By the way, dedicated to art, you're now in my good graces again. I saw what you put in the chat, and I couldn't agree with you more. This movie is garbage. I've said it from the start. This movie is absolute garbage of a movie. This movie has very little like story arc, plot, anything. I think the movie is very bad. Now onto the soundtrack. This is a great Phil Collins album. I like Phil Collins for the most part. But does it fit into a Disney movie? No, the pretentious asshole sings all his songs, doesn't let any of the characters have these moments, doesn't let anything. He just takes it, so it's just like a play over the song for the feel. I love Son of Man. I think Son of Man is great, but I honestly don't believe there's enough soundtrack to make up for not carrying with the movie. It like builds really fast. Like You'll Be in My Heart just kicks it off. I think that's when, and then Two Worlds.
Two Worlds of Family. Yeah.
It's so heavy, and then the rest of the movie is just, it goes away. It's so top heavy. In the first 30 minutes, I think, and even when Trash in the Camp hits, and then it stops in the movie. It's not required for the movie, and that's my problem with the movie. I don't like the movie. I don't like the soundtrack that much. I like the soundtrack for what it is. It doesn't appeal to the movie. Number one is Psycho. I would rather 8, 9, 10, maybe, in my other eyes. Chance, he said one of the best soundtracks ever.
I bet you gave me an aneurysm with that one sentence. God damn, look, I think I don't want to be touched on, but the reason it didn't make my list because one reason: Phil fucking Collins. I think he's okay on his own. Every time he did the soundtrack, he's the fucking worst because he never shuts up. And I think Cody touched on a thing I have a bigger Tarzan with. His soundtrack sounds like he's trying to, tell us for a movie, but be vague enough so the song can still be top 40. He's like, I'm Phil Collins, I'm singing about what I'm feeling, what has to do with what the characters at the same time. I'm Phil Collins, I sing. It's just obnoxious. And Trash in the Camp is the only song I find bearable. Why? Because the one that Phil Collins isn't fucking in.
You stole that from Doug Walker, Chance.
Phil Collins was actually
Doug
in the
Walker's
soundtrack version with
Disney
NSYNC.
December.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, I will pull up that exact quote from Doug Walker's Disney.
Okay, we're not doing
Why
this.
is Trash in the Camp the best one? It is the worst one.
Okay, Chance, give us your one.
Because Phil Collins sucks. That's why I hate
No,
the guy.
you suck for not liking
And
Phil
it's
Collins.
crazy. It's crazy to me that the better member of Genesis doesn't have knowledge what Phil Collins does.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. Peter Gabriel is far superior.
Yes, he is. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
Chance, you're number one.
So my number one is going to get me in good favor with exactly 2 people, and that is Kaleb Koho and Cain, and that my number one is Moana. So true story. I remember when I saw the very first teaser for Moana, when they put like a snippet of We Know the Way, and I love that snippet so much that I would actually seek it out. And I would have to listen to the trailer and just listen to that end part over and over again because I'm like, okay, this is gonna be real good. And I saw the movie and the entire soundtrack just floored me. I really enjoy it. I think it did a great job of blending together. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. Opataya Foai and Mark Mancina. I think they did a great job of blending all their talents and making it really unique. And this soundtrack is really a best of all 3 kind of thing. It blends all their talents. I think every song in this movie just hits for me. It's the soundtrack I listen to most. Where you look at We Know the Way, Where You Are, You're Welcome, Shiny, which proves and point for me that I'm like 99% sure if Bo was still alive at the time this was recorded, he would have been in this movie, but that's not here nor there. And yeah, I think much like with something like Mary Poppins or Prince and the Frog, which were really elevated by really strong vocals, I think that Ali'i Cravalho I think her vocals are really, really highlighted very well in the soundtrack. Just with every single song she has, she's fantastic. The soundtrack is great. I will listen to Moana more than I will about any other Disney soundtrack I have on my Apple Music, which is quite a few.
Who else had Moana? Anyone?
I did it 7.
Okay.
So yeah,
there's Boatman, right?
Yeah. I think Shiny is the reason why it's at number 7. Shiny is not a great song. I think We Know the Way, Where You Are, How Far I'll Go are all fantastic. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. He knows how to compose a good show tune. So I think some really good songs on here. I think one is very high, but, like I don't get it. I don't get why this is number 1. I think
I don't
5.
get it.
5 is probably about the highest you can put Moana, but it's your pick, whatever.
Put it on, bitch.
But yeah.
Yeah. I like Moana. I think I am in the camp that I think Moana is one of the best Disney movies to come out in the last 10 plus years. The soundtrack is good. I would have put it at 5 on my list, maybe 6. Shiny is one of the worst Disney songs that have ever been written.
I feel like you haven't heard bad Disney songs. You think that's one of the worst, honestly.
I'm so shiny. Yeah, it's terrible. It plays nothing. They do the Lin thing. Listen, I'm one of the biggest Hamilton fans out there. I have listened to the soundtrack for nonstop numerous times. He literally just does the same thing with He does the same thing with Hamilton. He throws it, gives it to The Rock, and The Rock takes it and just does his little thing. It's fine. How Far I'll Go is one of the best songs, but a lot of the songs is more like background music, not like incredible to sing along with, not like the fun Disney elements. They're good tunes, but they're not like those songs that stick with you, like Under the Sea, A Circle of Life, Be Prepared. Like, there's numerous ones. I'm just using Lion King, for example, but that's only my viewpoint. I think it definitely deserves to be on the list. I don't believe it needs to be that high. Brooklyn, Barr, you did not have Moana, so go ahead and tell me why.
After you, Brooklyn.
So if we're talking about just how I would there's a really good argument for it to be like one of the top 5 Disney songs ever. But like, let's go to Shiny. Trash in the Camp. Shiny. Trash in the Camp. Shiny. I'll rest my case there.
They're ridiculous.
I think this soundtrack is overrated. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think that he's very, very talented. I think that Shiny is not a good song. I think How Far I'll Go is Disney formula. I think I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's like Ali Cravalho.
Ali Cravalho, yeah.
Ali Cravalho has an amazing voice. I think she's got a fantastic voice. I think You're Welcome is good, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson's vocals kind of hurt that song a little bit. It's a good soundtrack. I don't think that it's great.
I never had the problem with Dwayne Johnson's vocals as like a lot of people do. Like, he's not Russell Crowe in most Les Mis. He's not Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia. Like, I don't understand people pick on The Rock so much.
Oh, I don't hate his performance, but when you pair him up,
It gets very high.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying you specific. I'm saying like a lot of people.
It gets very hyped as one of the best songs.
Really,
I think that's ridiculous. It's a fun song. It's not great. All right, so we're going to Boatman's 1.
My number 1 is Aladdin.
same here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was easy.
Yeah. I think Aladdin has the most quantity of great songs without having any bad songs. I think every song on the soundtrack is perfect. There's not a song I would change from it. I think this is Menken's best work by far. You've Got a Friend in Me, classic. Prince Ali, classic. Arabian Nights, classic. A Whole New World classic. I love every single song on this soundtrack. There is not one song I have even a slightest bit problem with. It is fantastic. I'll send it over to you, Barr.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. This is the one soundtrack where there's not a single song on it that I would skip. This is some of Alan Menken's best work ever, if not his best work ever. The moment you hear "what up, what," everyone goes "what." Every single song just captures your ear, and it just needles its way into your head. All of the vocals are great. All of the energy behind the songs are fantastic. There are so many great songs. One jump ahead of the breadline. Friend Like Me, Arabian Nights, even Jafar's song. Even Jafar's song is so really great because the energy behind that is fantastic and the melody is just sticky.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I don't care how short it is.
No,
it counts.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It does. It counts.
It's not I wouldn't say it's one of the best Disney villain songs, but it is still a great piece. This is the only album I would not skip a single song.
What song is in question again? What were we talking about?
The Jafar villain song.
It's a reprise, essentially.
I love that.
Why I say
I love that.
Which is why I say it doesn't count, because it's not really his song. He just sings something
Yeah,
else.
it's not found on the soundtrack, but I always think that it should be.
Bring me the lamp.
I think it should always be
Bring me the
on.
lamp.
I wish they would include it because I honestly like that reprise a lot. But overall, I will stand on this hill. I hate A Whole New World. I absolutely hate A Whole New World just because I think it's one of the most overplayed Disney songs of all time. Did somebody else have Aladdin? Your point was on.
Yeah, I had it on my 6.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead and talk about it.
So take what I said about Beauty and the Beast and cut it in half. I think Aladdin is a overrated soundtrack, but it's not as I put it higher in regards in terms of over Beauty and the Beast. I agree with Cody in A Whole New World is just overplayed, and it's like vocal performances are great, but it's not really doing anything else. A Friend Like Me is probably. I'm torn between it and honestly Arabian Nights. I really like how Arabian Nights sort of, it takes you. It's really weird because it's like it has that sort of dark, sort of mysterious tone, which makes sense for what comes later in the film. There isn't really a whole lot of that, so I think that's where if you're going to go for that dark and gloomy stuff, you get that right out of the way first, and I think that works. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
I don't mean to be rude, Brooklyn, but it's very funny when you say cut it in half and you have Jungle Book at 3 and Tarzan at 1. Yeah, I'm beyond done. That's just a dumb statement. Robin Williams is my favorite comedic actor of all time. Anybody that knew me, I took his passing very hard. He made me fall in love with comedy, and I think he's literally perfect. The reason why I give the live action Aladdin a lot more pass than I give the Disney, the other one, is because Will Smith didn't do a copy. He actually tried to make it his own thing, and I appreciated that. Those two songs, Prince Ali and Friend Like Me, are amazing through and through. No questions asked. I think they're fantastic. One Jump is one of the best, almost underrated songs in the movie. Arabian Nights is beautiful. Call it what you want. Jafar's reprise, not a villain song, but it's nice to have that tone back to it. I just don't like A Whole New World, and that's the one I skip because it's a very overplayed duet song. It's used in a lot of karaoke bars. It's mainly like this love song, and I don't feel like it ever really pays off that much for me. That the reason I like it. It's the same thing that happened in 2019. It's the same thing that happens in the animated. The visuals that surround that song make that song a lot better than the actual bull by itself listening to it. I will stand by that. Number one, I can't argue. I've always said there's 3 movies that you can interchange. It's Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. And if you have one of the 3, I pass it. I think it's a very passable. Okay, Chance, you didn't have Aladdin at all, right?
I did not, which
okay.
It's a weird thing because much as I do love the movie, I never really go back and listen to the soundtrack. I don't know why, and I actually know why, because I tried to find on the other day, And it turns out that's the only soundtrack you can't download in its completion because they're all songs you have to buy separately. It's bullshit. But yeah, I really never go back and listen to Aladdin, which is probably the only reason not on my list. I mean, I'm listening to Aladdin. The only track I listen to is Friend Like Me. It's Can't Get Rob Williams. I listen to the Broadway version by James Monroe Englehart, which if you haven't heard it, it's a great rendition. I would seriously do it. And also check out Jason Derulo. Neo's rendition of Friend Like Me did for a compilation soundtrack once.
Right there in the next one. Okay, so that was your list sucks. Very short episode. Again, I knew there was going to be a lot of crossover, but I like to have this conversation. We're going to read off your top 10 lists right now. So at number 10 for your combined list is waiting for Koho to do his job. Really? That sucks. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Number 9. The Muppets, 2011. Number 8, The Little Mermaid. Number 7, can't count. Moana. I'm surprised they didn't have something tagged to the end of it. 6, Princess and the Frog. Nice. Okay. Number 5, Tarzan. Number 4, Beauty and the Beast. Number 3, Mary Poppins. Number 2, Aladdin. And number 1, your number 1 is The Lion King. Fine, Lion King. Guys, that was fantastic. So now I'm going to go through, because it was a short episode, I get to grade everybody's thing. So this is fun. At number 1 to win the top spot with, I think, the highest grade I've ever given on a list, with a B+. Actually, I'm changing the grade. It's an A-. Had one thing that I would not have included, and I'm going to give that to Boatman at an A-. Boatman wins. Your list sucks this week.
How? You have been berating me the whole episode. And now it's like, oh, I win. Okay. I'm happy with it.
Everybody gets berated. I show no treatment.
Fair enough.
Number 2 with a B, solid B, is Andrew Barr.
What? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 3 goes to Chance Ellison. He has a C+. Some grew. I think Moana being as the number 1 spot, Nightmare Before Christmas being on the list, Lion King at the 5 spot. Questions. I think Princess and the Frog, if you would put that at 1, Moana at 3, I may have changed it a little bit. And last place. Brooklyn, you got a D, a solid D, for the main fact. You got a D just for the fact. I wanted to give you higher because you had the highest Lion King spot, but then you surrounded it by trash, by Tarzan and Jungle Book in between them. And you didn't have Beauty and the Beast. And Aladdin was half-assed to you. I think that's sad. Since we have a little time, I'm just going to go through a schedule real quick for everybody so everybody knows if you're still watching. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, this show continues because everybody, you interact in the chat, and I think that's why we like to do them live. Koho, do you have the updated list? Okay, next week's Guilty Pleasures. Again, it's an interesting topic for Your List Sucks, but listen, you're allowed to bring the trash to the table. Yes, the trash will be thrown in your face, but you're allowed to bring the trash to the table, so bring the trash, okay? Have fun with it. Make it an interesting list. I only have 1 spot taken for that episode, so please submit your list. If you were on previous episodes, you can definitely get back on. Next week is Oscars Got Wrong lead performances, so male, female. This community hates females, so we're going to include males and females, so if you have them, go ahead. Listen, a lot of people told me, contact me when males. The next one is biopics. It's going to be fantastic. Do you have any of the other ones typed up? Because if you can type them up, I want to play them throughout the whole screen. Then we have Schmodown matches. I've changed this up. It is not best Schmodown matches of all time anymore. This is favorite. This is your absolute favorite. So it does not have to be the overall best match on the topic, because I had a lot of similarities, and I want to kind of erase that. I want people to talk and be passionate about the matches that they find the most intriguing. And I'm going to have an interesting panel for that. I already have 2 spots locked for that. And crime movies is December 11th. Again, these movies will be pre-recorded in December. If you want to be on them, we will shoot when everybody's free, and we will drop them through the Christmas holidays. But please, if you want to be in crimes, 1 spot is taken from that. Star Wars, to be determined by Jay Burns. I refuse to talk about it because basically I don't have the knowledge needed to, and me, Nico, and Chris Stolman and Case would just punch each other. So I refuse to be on the list. And then the 25th, it will drop on Christmas Day. It will be Christmas movies. We will talk about Christmas movies in depth. That will be pre-recorded a lot in advance. So if you want to be on Christmas movies, please send me your list. Do not complain to me that you didn't get on the list because you didn't send me your list because you will not get on the show. And do not send me a hot takes list just to be on the show. I want people that are passionate about these, not for me just to yell at them for an hour and a half. Again, send me a list if you want to be on. If you were on last week, it does not matter. I do not show any preference. I will put the same people on every week if I have to. So thank you. Good night. Thank you guys for coming on. Have a good night.
Safely.